Good evening, it's Brian at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. I want to show you this 2014 Honda CRV 1.6 diesel ES. Fitzpatrick's Garage, we're a garage which is about 30 minutes south of Dublin, 35 minutes maybe from the Red Cow roundabout. The garage is in operation for almost 70 years. So here at the garage we have, all the way down here, there's a Maxall station. Just over here, you'll see there is a Honda garage just there. There is Hyundai behind me. And then way up here, next building up, there's Mercedes garage as well. Garage here in 70 years. The reason I'm saying that to you is if you buy a car at a garage like this, you know that the after sales service is going to be excellent because it's a family run business and it's in operation for so long, and obviously we plan to be in operation for a lot longer too. There's also garages in Carlow and Tullamore and Naas as well. Anyway, back to this car. This is the reason that you press play. So in terms of this car, it is a 1.6 diesel and it's the ES model. Alabaster silver is the colour. The car is in nice condition and it has a full service history from brand new. So let's have a look around it. So starting off, this is a 1.6 diesel engine. It is 120 horsepower. It has about 300 newton meters of torque, so there's good torque in it. It is a big car. Some people always used to say to us when they came out first a few years ago, are they big enough? Sorry, is the engine big enough to pull a body that size? Yes, it is. First of all, let me clarify a couple of things. Never had any problems with the car in terms of engines, parts of the engine, including turbo, intercooler, injectors, all that kind of stuff. Nothing at all. It runs off a timing chain, so maintenance is very, very straightforward. Average servicing costs on a car like this are in the region of, average service runs between 180 and 280 euros. If you calculate it over 3 years, it works out at an average of about 213 euros per year or 20,000 kilometers. So very, very straightforward. Road tax for the year is 200 euros. In terms of reliability, as we were saying, they're extremely robust and well put together. So engine and gearbox and all that kind of stuff, very, very, very good. But as we were saying, yes, some people used to ask us, is there enough power in the car? Because it is a big car and it's 1.6 diesel engine. However, most manufacturers these days are putting small turbocharged engines into their SUVs, so it is kind of, I suppose, the way that things are in this segment now. But in fairness, we actually sell quite a few of these types of cars. There's the Tucson, there's the iX35, and we've traded in things like Qashqais and Sportages and all that kind of stuff. And I assure you, actually, this is the best one for acceleration. Let's have a look. So let's take, for example, a common driving situation. If you're doing somewhere in the region of about maybe 30 kilometers per hour, you'll be in second gear and you'll be looking to accelerate to get going. So say, for example, if I floor the car, say right now, it pulls very, very easily. Similarly, say for example, if you are in third gear. So again, common kind of situation along here would be maybe from somewhere in the region of maybe 50 kilometers an hour. So if you floor the car right now, again, as I'd say, the car's got loads of power. But rather than taking my word for it, just come try the car and I think you'll be quite satisfied. Most people, and I mean about 95% of people that get into these cars and come back after driving them, they always say, that was a very nice car to drive, and they're always happy in terms of how the car actually performs in terms of performance. As I was saying, that's 95% of people. There's always a 5% person, and those people usually have come out of something which is in the region of maybe 170, 200 horsepower already. Yes, that is going to be slightly different, but for the most part of people, they're going to be within that 95%. Looking at other SUVs that are in similar segments, I guarantee this is one of the better ones around. Come try the car, you'll see yourself. So let's get back on the specification. On the outside, the car has automatic headlamps, so if we lock the car, we can see dipped headlight up through here. While they're on, let's have a quick look. Dipped headlight here, full headlight here, and then a nice daytime running light here, which also happens to be your parking light. In this case, front fog lights down here. If I walked up to the house, the lights have stayed on for me for about maybe 20-25 seconds there. Now they've turned off. If I come back out and unlock the car, headlights come back on again, only when they're left in the automated situation. After that, if we watch the windows, it's got full closure from the key, so if we watch those windows, they come down. Similarly then, if we want, if I hit the lock button, watch the wing mirrors and watch the windows, everything's retracted, so it means you can walk away from the car and you know you haven't left anything basically that is not locked. So it's good peace of mind actually, or even sometimes I do it, I know myself, from the window of the house to look down to make sure the car is locked. I find it really, really handy. In terms of the boot, CRV is gigantic. If you compare that to iX35 or Tucson here, only picking them because they're right there, or other cars similarly again in Slightly smaller segments like these guys we were just talking about, Qashqai, Sportage, they are all a little bit smaller and they are all a little bit cheaper. CRV is kind of in a league of its own here when it comes to the size of the boot. It's very long, it's very high in terms of access, and the other thing as well is it's quite easy to drop that seat and drop that seat forward, and you will end up with space that is similar to that of a small light commercial vehicle. So it's very, very useful, and obviously this tray then comes out if you want as well. While we're back here, under here, condition is very nice on the car. Plastics on both sides, material on the blue floor, and underneath here a spare wheel, but everything is in very nice condition throughout. Over here, 12 volt outlet, anchorage points all the way around if you want to tie stuff down in each corner, and then over here, little cargo net for storage. In terms of closing down the boot, depending how tall you are, you've got this little handle that is quite useful for taking that down. Some other small things we'll see on the inside in a minute, but just at the back it is significant. I do need to say it, reversing sensors are standard because this is the ES model. Previous owner has specified a set of mud flaps on the outside of the car which they didn't come standard with. And then at the front, parking sensors are also standard around the front. In terms of the rear of the car, it's real clever because they have a right opening angle door, and the reason that's cool is if you want, I'm just going to let these seats back up just to show you how straightforward they are. 1, 2, 1, 2, so all very straightforward. The reason the right angle is useful, if you have a child seat in the back, which brings me on to something else, but if you have a child seat in the back, it means that you can have a child seat here and a child can still go around and get in through the centre along there, or an adult either. In terms of back here, child locks over here, electrics for windows over here, door cards in excellent condition. Seat materials in excellent condition. Previous owner did not have a young family, so I do have to say the rear of this car is in excellent order throughout. 3-point safety belts all the way across the back, and also 3 head restraints. ESi-DTEC over here, which is for child seat on this side. ESi-DTEC over here for child seat on that side, which means you could have child seat, child seat. If you want, you can actually bring the child seats a bit closer together. So rather than having them wide, you can have 2 in this, more in a centered position. So you can have one, say for example, covering this area here, and another one covering this area here. Just if you want to have space either side of the child between, we'll say, the door card and the child seat, and to have the children maybe a little bit closer together, and probably better for visibility when you're looking backwards in the mirror. After that, you will, and I repeat, will get 3 child seats across the back. Not all ESi-DTEC, but you will get 2 ESi-DTEC child seats across the back of this car, and after that then you will fit a smaller child seat into the centre. Unless your child seats are massive, pretty much everyone that's tried it so far works. So this is one of the few cars you will get 3 child seats across the back in an SUV. Pocket over here, vent in terms of the back just for ventilation in through the rear passengers. Apologies about the state of the iPods focusing, it really struggles around this time of year because while it looks bright, the light is fading a little bit, unfortunately, as we move into this time of year. Anyway, let's get this advertising paraphernalia out of the way. Okay, door card over here, very nice condition. Seat, excellent condition. Floor mat, excellent condition. I think you'd be very happy with the inside of this car when it comes to look at it. USB and auxiliary if we want to play phone or iPod on the radio over here. After that, this is retractable back and forwards, which is the armrest for the driver. That seat is in excellent condition, as is the driver's seat in excellent condition as well. Let's go around to the other side. The passenger seat is adjustable backwards and forwards, and the rear part is adjustable. The driver's seat is the same, so obviously up and down. This part adjusts backwards or forward, and then down here there's lumbar support down there for lower back. That steering wheel is rake reach, so it comes out, in, and also goes up and down, so nice and versatile. So if you can't get comfortable, you know, that's very unusual. Really, pretty much everyone finds the CRV to be very comfortable. I will concede one thing: if your legs are really long, and if you're the 6'5" plus category, this does get a bit tight along here, so you won't know. I've had 2 people of similar heights find the car comfortable and uncomfortable, so it really depends what length you are from your hip to your knee. Again, you'll see when you drive the car or come to see it. Okay, in terms of mileage, the car has covered 81,000 kilometres. There is a full dealer service history for that. The history on the car overall: there is one man that owned the car since 2014. He traded the car into us in January of this year. He kept a full service record on the vehicle all the way through. After he traded the car into us, a lady bought it. She had an automatic car before that. Unfortunately, she probably underestimated just how much she liked an automatic car, so she's now traded it back into us for an automatic Honda Jazz. So she probably bought the wrong car at the time, it just didn't suit her. Manual gearbox, after having an automatic for a certain period of time, I guess she's just gotten used to it. So full dealer service history, non-accident, all good that way. So, over here, parking sensors front and rear. I'm just going to close these doors for a sec, because I just need to move around the car to show you how the parking sensors work. Just get this stuff off the ground, which is our advertising price board. So we'll close all that up there. Okay. It is a nice evening though. Anyway. Okay. So over here then, in through here, average fuel consumption, all that kind of information, and how much fuel you got left in the tank, everything in through there, very straightforward. Bluetooth, which is voice activated, up through here. iMid, if you look at this screen over here while I'm pressing that. Clock, radio station, how much fuel we've been using, how much fuel is left. General menu if you want to change settings down through there. Actually, while we're on it, and while I'm sitting there, steel bars all the way down the side for side impact protection. Airbag curtain for front and rear. Airbag in the side of this seat, airbag in the side of the passenger seat on the other side. Driver's airbag, passenger airbag over there. Emergency brake assist, emergency brake distribution, vehicle stability control as well. Again, I can go through all those things with you, but all those features are there to allow you to have maximum control under full braking pressure. So, very useful stuff. Drinks holders in through here, 12 volt in through here, 6 4-gear gearbox, which relates to this reverse camera. So I go reverse and I get a camera up through here, just off to my left, so I can keep my eyes on the road with any information that comes up in this iMid over here. Right, let's have a look at the parking sensors. So if I go forward towards this wall, it's now telling me that I got a problem up here. Similarly, if I go for reverse, this iMid over here is telling me some visual information. And then similarly, as I go back towards this Honda Civic behind us, it's telling me that I got a problem behind me. So very useful and easy to use. Over here, controls for my side on the heating, passenger side over here, front and rear windscreen demisters, mode where I want the air to blow, or else we can synchronize it, which means that the driver controls both sides. Radio CD, I gotta say I'm old fashioned, I love a big volume knob, it's so easy to use. And after that then, as we were saying, that links down into USB and all that kind of stuff. CD players are getting rare these days. Automatic headlights, as we were saying outside, so they'll come on themselves. Wipers are also automated, so they will come on themselves as well when it rains. Big sensor up here which looks after all that. Height of the lights, traction control we talked about, and then after that econ, which means when I have that on, these little white brackets either side change to green when you're driving economically. This is cruise control with a speed limiter, but when the econ is on, it makes it less aggressive, and when we have the automatic version of the air conditioning on, this econ function makes it a little bit less aggressive, again in favour of fuel efficiency. That is a electrochromatic rear mirror. If someone drives up behind you at night, it darkens itself, and then we have a conversation mirror over here, which means, actually it's better if I close the door because the lights can kind of not do this camera any favours. So I've got a sunglasses holder, or I've got a conversation mirror. So cars behind me, people behind me. So very, very useful overall. That is pretty much a summary of that car. If you've managed to watch the whole video, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for staying tuned in. So the car, as you were saying, is, if you were looking for a CRV already, 2014, this car has full dealer service history, Irish car from new, all very traceable, all very straightforward, so I definitely think it's worth coming to look at. If you're not familiar with the CRV, then I'll put it this way to you. If you want a really reliable, large car that's 200 quid a year for road tax, that's extremely reliable, one thing I'd say, these cars do all day long 5 to 5.5 litres per 100 kilometres, which is 50 plus miles per gallon, and I'll take it from me, the other cars in even the smaller SUV segments don't do that. This is one of the better ones. I guarantee that 100%. Again, don't take my word, come try the car out the road and you'll see yourself. So if you're looking for a car that's easy to run, easy to maintain, I think they're pretty okay in insurance too. After that then, they are quite reliable, and there's good old power in the car as well, considering you're getting a very frugal engine. In terms of features, there's nice stuff that we saw in terms of safety, in terms of convenience features, in terms of, it's just small things like, we'll say, parking sensors front and rear, and stuff you'd expect in a big car these days. Bluetooth and cruise control is actually not standard in a lot of cars still. And after that then, do you know what, if you want something that's a little bit different, that not everyone's got, so there's some very popular cars in the market, Sportage, Qashqai, iX35, all that kind of stuff, which admittedly are smaller cars, but these, they're a little bit bigger, they're a little bit more expensive, but I think they're worth it when you consider the size of the boot and the fact that you can get 3 child seats across the back, because not many cars can do that. But the good thing about them is they're not everywhere, which is nice, but also because the market's not flooded with them, the residual values are quite strong on these cars as well. So we also are able to take your trade-in. If you want to know what your car is worth, please do give me a call, 0868431945, or if you come to the garage, just ask for Brian. I'll be quite happy to tell you. But if you're down the country and you want to know roughly what my car worth before I travel, no problem, give me a ring. We do finance. We deal with all 8 major lenders in the country, so we have the best finance rates. If you want information on finance rates or a quote before you travel, no problem, give me a shout. I'll be quite happy to go through that with you. And the car will then come serviced, and it's got a warranty until 12 months, and it's also got roadside assist for 12 months as well. And then this car 141, that's going through NCT as well, so we'll actually have a full NCT for you before you collect this car. So hopefully this particular CRV is of interest. If you managed to watch the whole video, I appreciate your time. Thank you for taking time to watch. If you want directions to the garage, if you're familiar with Kildare Village Outlet, just off the M7 motorway, we're about 3 minutes from that, but just give me a call and I'll be quite happy to tell you how to get here. Hopefully this CRV is of interest. Thank you for taking time to watch.